Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. So today I want to give you guys an update on me moving to Arizona, and I feel like it's about time. It's finally June and I've been here since February, so March, April, May, June, which is about 4 months now. And so upon moving to Arizona, you guys seen the last video where I drove out here by myself. It was a 27-hour drive and I was really on a time crunch, stressed out, and all of these things. So coming out here, yes, I had a job in advance, and that's what helped me transition as far as moving here. So with that being said, I had a job, but I had nowhere to stay, and I had no friends, and I had no family here. So what I did for the first 2.5 weeks, I slept in my car during the morning because I work night shift. So I would go to work at 6 o'clock, well 6:30 at night, wouldn't get off till 6:30 in the morning. And then I will come back and I'll take a nap in my car. And I started looking for apartments after a couple of hours of sleep. So I literally did that every day for 2.5 weeks. So I found the apartment that I have now on the 2nd week, but it wasn't ready until the 3rd week. So that's what took so long, because they had to do the cleaning and all of those things. So by the 3rd week here, I was being interviewed for a second job. So I applied to my second job right before moving into my apartment. So what I did was I applied, they called me back the same day and set up a interview over the phone first. This hiring process took so long, but in the end it was worth it, because after about a month I wound up getting the job. So now I'm currently working 2 jobs and it's been that way for some time now, and that's honestly the biggest reason why I've been absent here from making videos, because I do work a lot and I work 7 days a week. Work when I'm so tired. When I tell you guys I'm working 11-hour shifts at one job and 10-hour shifts at the other job, 7 days a week. So I'm pulling no less than 70 hours a week, but it's a little more than that. So yeah, so how I did it. So going back to the process of coming out here. When I came out here, I made it to the parking lot of my job, because that's where my GPS was set, because I didn't really have a home destination to go to. So I started from Illinois and I set the GPS to my job location, and I will tell you guys where I work, but it's not a big secret. But I just don't want to broadcast it on the internet, because I don't want nobody to show up at my job, you know, on some stalker stuff. So you never know. So anyway, so after the 27-hour drive, I finally made it, maybe 2 or 3 hours right before it was time for me to start my shift. So what I did was I found the closest gym. So my gym is LA Fitness. So I found the closest gym to me, and well, to my job at the time. And I went there and I switched it over because I had a one, I guess you could say, like a one location membership. So it wasn't an all state or all country type of a pass. Well, not all country, but an all state pass where you can go anywhere you want to. So I just switched it over to that location because I knew I would need to take showers. So when living in my car, that was one thing that I wanted to still make sure I could do because I wanted to still be hygienic and still look and be presentable. So I took a shower and then I came back to start work. So then I probably went like that for a couple days, riding around with the things in my car. I didn't pack much. I packed really light because I didn't know what the situation was going to be like when I got to Arizona. So after a couple of days of driving around with stuff in my car, I found that I was being stared at a lot. So for example, if I go to the gym or if I go to work, people will be looking at me crazy because, you know, I will have like my blanket in the car, or I'll have things like a trunk full of clothes and stuff like that. So I didn't want it to be as obvious because I didn't want my car to become a target of like robbery and things like that. So coincidentally, like luckily for me, I found a storage unit it was like right across the street from my job. And I needed the smallest space they had. So I think I paid about 60 to 80 bucks for it or something like that. And I was being really cautious of money because when I came, I only had $500. I spent $200 on gas to get here, and then I spent another $100 on a GPS system because my phone did not work. I was driving through a blizzard. The GPSs would turn me around, if you guys seen the first video. So I had to spend another $100 on a GPS system from Walmart, and I recommend anybody driving any type of a far distance away to do that because you don't want to end up stranded somewhere and you don't want to end up lost without any sense of direction. So yes, so let's see. So yeah, so the storage unit cost me about $60 to $80. So the thing about that was I was really skeptical about it, and I didn't really want to have to get one, but I figured my safety was more important. And also, just throwing in a couple tips in here, if anybody needs to sleep in their car at one point, get a black, you know, blanket or comforter or something like that, and use black pillow sheets. It's easier when it comes to hiding yourself. So I would sleep in my back seat and I would just throw the whole blanket over me. So that way anybody walk past, you know, it's nothing drawing their eye. So unless somebody's like looking straight through the window, like they wouldn't be able to tell that anybody was sleeping in there because there weren't any bright colors attracting anybody to the car. So that's really good too, because you don't want anybody, or police for that matter, coming up, you know, saying things to you like you have to get up and leave and stuff like that. So location, that was the tricky part. So I didn't know where to park my car to sleep at all. Like I was driving around, everything was so foreign here. The nights were really dark, mornings is really bright, and since I was sleeping in the morning, I just really didn't know where to go where I can feel comfortable. I tried the supermarket, that didn't work. It was, you know, still just an uncomfortable setting. So what I did was I found one of those truck rest stops where travelers come and truck drivers come as well, and they sleep in their cars, in their parking lots, you know, in between time for them to fuel their gas. You know, so I made sure that I found a place like that so I didn't stand out. So this place specifically, you had people in mobile homes, cars, you know, people who drove 18-wheelers, so that kind of thing. So I made sure that I went there to sleep when I found out. So that was the one place that I kept coming to consistently because I didn't want to be a target, like I said. Not to mention, it was always convenient. It was really close to my job, and it was really close to the gym that I was going to take showers, and close to the storage unit as well. So it was about I would say about the second week. So when the second week came around, I had no luck. When I say I was going to see 3 or 4 different apartments daily, you know, before going to work every single day. The problem that I came across in Arizona was they would list things really cheaply, and when I get there, they would give me a different price, which was a problem for me because I was running on limited money. So I couldn't store food and I couldn't, you know, get things like that. So I would have to really penny pinch when it came to what I ate and where I went, because at that time I had less than $200 left, you know, by the 3rd week. Actually, I think it was like maybe like a little less than 100. So by that time, you know, I knew my first check for my job was going to come soon enough. So I just wanted to be, you know. So anyway, back to the apartments. The apartments were really hard because the ones that were cheap were in really, really bad neighborhoods. And I mean like $500 cheap, that kind of thing. And then one day I was just like, you know what, let me just drive over by my job, because when I was using different apps. So I was using like Zillow, House Hunter, no, what is it called? House something, I don't know, whatever. It's like 1,000 different apps, and I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, am I going to, you know, ever find a place to stay? So one day I was driving down the street for my job, and I was like, oh my God, like, it's places over here. So I came to the apartment complex that I'm at, and I spoke to a woman, and she was just the nicest, sweetest person, and I felt like she was so inviting and so willing to help me on, you know, this journey that I've been on. And when I got approved for it, you guys, I was so happy. And when I say God was looking out for me, like, God has been with me this whole trip. I received my tax refund and my first check on the same day, and was able to pay the rent up to like 2 months. So I paid the first month and the second month and the deposit. And I was just so happy that I was able to do that, you know. Then not to mention being able to pay another month in advance, it really made me feel secure. So with that being said, that was the journey here in me getting the apartment. But Phoenix itself is a little different to me. So being in Illinois, I've lived in many places in Illinois, and yes, there are racism, or racist, I should say, and, you know, and things like that, but it's one big melting pot, so you don't really experience it so much. So when I came out here and had to experience it in the workplace, so the first job that I had when I came here, I had a really bad experience with people making comments of my hair, trying to get me fired. Mind you, the company that I work for now is the same exact company that I worked for the past couple years. And I've never had a problem with racism or people trying to get me fired. Or just lying on me and things like that, especially since I'm a pretty to myself kind of person. I'm pretty quiet for the most part. So that's why I didn't understand, like, why is it happening? And it was just really, really bad. So what I decided to do was I changed off of that shift and I moved to a different shift. So now I have different managers and things like that, different people, because I didn't want to come out here and experience so much negativity. I changed my shift. So the managers that I have now are super nice, super nice. They're like complete opposite of the ones that I have now. And then upon starting my second job, the managers there are really nice as well. But with that being said, so now, even though the managers that I have are nice and the job itself, like the job itself is, both of them I would say are pretty hard. So I'm usually tired all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean like literally all the time. And it's like I just like have a really hard time managing, for example, this kind of stuff, making videos, or like doing things for myself, or taking time for myself to, I guess, kind of just self-care, that kind of stuff. So everything is really much revolving around work at this point, and I don't want it to be like that, because I didn't come 2,000 miles away just to be a, you know, working for somebody else. I came out here to start a business for myself and also continue to grow my channel in my own space. So the fact that I haven't been able to do that as well as I thought I would have is a huge disappointment to me. Huge disappointment. But it's a work in progress, and I know that it's going to take time, especially taking time to get the hang of it, especially with working, you know, more like different, you know, more than one job. So let's see. So as far as the people out here, so far, besides the little racism that I experienced, the people out here that I've met, like for example at work, have been really nice. They've been, I guess you could say, really open to about who they are and where they come from. And another thing is, I've literally been running into so many people who say they're from Illinois or used to live in Illinois at one point. Like, all I ever hear out here is, I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. And I'm like, me too. So it's like a me too kind of thing. But overall, do I want to stay in Arizona? No. I don't think this is the place for me, and that's okay, because I feel like that's partially why, you know, I'm doing this, why I'm moving. Like, I've lived in other states. Like, I've lived in Texas. I moved to Minnesota for a little bit. You know, been to just other places, Illinois, Alabama, and so, yeah. So will I stay here? No. I just feel like it's not for me. And the reason, like, part of the reason why I say that is because I'm a huge nature girl. So I'm not a huge, like, don't get me wrong, I like city living, that kind of thing. That's cool. And I don't want to go live in the country or nothing. But I feel like the fact that there's not really many beaches out here or places I can go and look at, for example, the type of scenery that I want to see. And don't get me wrong, they have some really nice stuff, but everything they have includes heights, and I am definitely afraid of heights, terrified. Even driving through the mountains, like, it was gorgeous, and I couldn't even enjoy it because I was too busy having a panic attack, you know. Like, it was so crazy. Like, even driving, like, when I was driving, oh my goodness, you guys, by the time I got to New Mexico, it was pitch black outside. And I think I was up really high or something because it was clouds, like really thick fall clouds by the bottom of my car. Like, you know, I couldn't see. So I'm driving really slow, really slow. So now as I'm coming out of New Mexico and driving, you know, getting closer towards Arizona, guys, when I tell you, when the sun came up, I freaked out. I freaked out so bad because it was these two things. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, it was like I was driving through a canyon or something, and it was like literally all of these huge rocks around me, and it was just bad. And then I had to go up a hill, and then when I was driving, I tried not to look over the side, but it was literally nothing but just like space. Like, it was like a dead drop off, and I literally had to pull over because my legs started shaking while it was on the accelerator. So my legs started shaking, and I almost like went back the hill, back down the hill. You know, I probably could have died. I probably could have died or something, but yeah, thank God that didn't happen. But what I did was pulled over and called my grandma and pulled my inhaler out, but it didn't do anything. So yeah, but yeah, so I don't have any plans. Hopefully I don't have to go back through the mountains anytime soon. But when I do drive out of here to move again or whatever, hopefully I'll have somebody to do that for me. Because as soon as I get back towards Texas, I'm fine. I was fine until I passed, you know, Texas. And then, because New Mexico and Arizona is what kind of like started freaking me out. Because I've never seen that kind of stuff before. So as far as, you know, is it a lot of black people out here? When I first came out here, I didn't see many. It was literally a sprinkle of black people. But now that I've been here longer, I'm starting to see a lot more, but we're still not the majority here. And it's mostly like Hispanic, and then it's Caucasian, and then it's black, in my opinion, because that's just what I've seen. Let's see, I stay in West Phoenix, and I'm by a bunch of stores, so that's good. I usually try to move places where it's a lot of stuff around, so I don't have to travel far, because the last thing I want to do on my off days or anytime I have to run an errand is drive like super far to get anywhere. So I literally have everything I need within like a 2-mile radius, to be honest. Like, even my job is right down the street. Like, and even my second job, it's still, I can get to it in under 20 minutes. So, and as far as like beauty supply stores, it's literally one that's near me, and then I think the other ones might be kind of far. And the one that is near me is they don't really have much. I just usually, like, if I need to get anything for my hair, I just order online off of like Sam's Beauty or something like that. And yeah, so I don't know what else to really address, but if you guys do have questions, feel free, and I could probably make another video or just answer them in the comments below. So it's just really up to you guys and what you guys want. But I know everybody has been wanting an update on my experience as far as coming here, but I just wanted to wait a little bit longer so I could give you guys an actual video, because when I got here I made a video, but I was like, you know what, let me just hold off and let me give it a fair try first. And I think 4 months is a good enough time for me to really, you know, tell how much, you know, I like it or don't like it, that kind of thing. So in conclusion, no, I don't plan on staying in Arizona, and I have 10 months left on my lease because I signed a 14-month lease. So I don't know where to go to next. So if anybody has any suggestions, some places that's not super expensive but has like nice beaches or scenery, and it doesn't necessarily have to be hot, to be honest. being here and in this weather, like even when I lived in Texas before, my light bill never got this high, but here for some reason it's like they charge a little more on everything. And that's one thing I will say, it's not as cheap as you think. Like I'm literally paying pretty much the same as I would back home for anything. So even though my apartment might be on the cheaper side, because I have a 2-bedroom and a 2-bathroom, you know, the master bedroom, and then I have a space for my office. So 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it's under $800. When you add up the rest of the bills, like the lights I'm paying probably like 2 to 3 times as much as I would somewhere else, because of the air like never comes off because it's too hot for that. So yeah, so it makes up, but in different little ways. But yeah, like I said, so if you guys want to know anything else about my experience here, or me being here, if I didn't cover it already, like just ask me and I'll let you guys know later. So thanks for watching, you guys, and please forgive me with the scheduling. I'm really trying to get it together, and I'm really trying to find a balance between work and everything else that I want to prioritize. So just bear with me. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.